Hey, how's it going, everyone? It's time for another review podcast thingamahooger. I never said these would be limited strictly to video games. Sometimes I may just want to sit on my ass and record one of these for maybe a figurine, a really comfy chair, or in today's case, a film. A big film at that. It's been running through the internet since its announcement in I would say 2013. It's finally here, Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice. And joining me tonight for this video is my good friend Gareth from Find the Computer Room. You can check his channel out by following the link in the description below. Gareth, how you doing, bud?
I'm doing good, except for the fact that I saw Batman v Superman last night.
Okay, let's get started there. I mean, what time did you go? You went to a Thursday showing, as did I.
I went. Mine was at like 10 p.m.
I went around 11 o'clock at night. A very spur of the moment thing, because originally I was planning to go this weekend with my brother Mark and my mom, because she's lonely now that we moved out of the house, and we wanted to go see Batman v Superman together. And but it was Thursday night, and I wanted to check up ticket prices, and I saw that my movie theater was having a Thursday night showing, and I was like, you know what? I'm an adult. I could do adult things. So I decided to just go to the 11 o'clock showing, and I'm glad I did. It was a pretty comfortable time. The theater going experience. That's the movie, it's an entirely different thing. But I'm kind of glad I went. Okay, so let's talk about the build up here. It was announced, I think, at San Diego Comic-Con 2013. The very idea of Batman finally punching Superman in the face on live-action film was very exciting. I was totally stoked for it. But why was it that I wasn't getting any more excited the more I saw of this film? I'm talking teaser trailers themselves, all the publicity stills and all that. How stoked were you for this film before you went to go see it yesterday?
I was pretty stoked. I mean, I think a lot of it also would be dictated on how well you enjoyed Man of Steel going into this, because obviously it's not Man of Steel 2, but it is a direct sequel to Man of Steel.
Yes, it is.
So it's in the same universe, same writer director. So if you weren't a fan of Man of Steel, I'm gonna smart money says you will not enjoy this movie. I like Man of Steel. It's not. I mean, I completely understand why some people don't like Man of Steel, but I liked it. Aside from they turned Superman into a violent sociopath, but whatever. But you know what? I was really looking forward to this movie. I would kind of put myself in the middle between Ryan and Ted, where Ryan was like really looking forward to this, and Ted was just like, "That's DC. It's gonna suck. Marvel forever."
It's like, fuck you, Ted. You don't know anything. And then the day after, oh, fuck, he was right.
I was expecting their reactions to this movie to be the brain scratch Civil War. I'm Marvel, I'm DC, Civil War. But all of the trailers look good to me. I mean, I know when it was pretty and he was first cast, people were like, Ben Affleck, fuck that guy. I was so excited for that. I'm a big Ben Affleck fan. We just all ignore Daredevil. That never happened. The only live action Daredevil is the current Netflix show, which is beyond amazing. Everyone go check that out.
Yeah,
but
I would agree.
I was really looking forward to it. All of the trailers I liked. I felt, as a lot of people did, I forget the chronology of I think it was the second big one. The one, it's not a spoiler if it's in the trailer. The one where they show Doomsday in the trailer. That one was like, you're showing a bit too much here.
There is a given amount of information that people can just logically think for themselves. Common sense. Like, Batman v Superman. It's even in the fucking subtitle, Dawn of Justice. Okay, we know that they're going to eventually find the Justice League. We know they're not going to remain enemies for long. They're going to punch each other in the face for a little bit, then they're going to be buddies, and everything will be all well. They insisted on showing the third act of the film, which was Doomsday and Wonder Woman. I was like, you've told me the entire fucking film, just on these trailers.
No joke. Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice. There's not really a plot to this movie.
No,
just shit happens. Literally, I know everyone says people make jokes if you've seen the trailer, you've seen the movie. That's pretty accurate with Dawn of Justice.
Which is why I'm hesitant to say spoilers. No, because if you watch the trailers, you already know what's happening in this film. Okay, but assuming you didn't watch the trailers, you're going to see the movie yourself. This podcast could be full of spoilers for the record. So if you haven't watched the movie, turn this off. Come back later. Please come back later.
we need the views. Please come back. My children are hungry. We need the views.
I was a similar mindset with Man of Steel. I saw the film like opening weekend, I enjoyed it, but it much like Dark Knight Rises, I enjoyed my theater experience, and it just began to fall apart the more I began to like repeatedly watch it.
Yeah.
I would still say not a terrible Superman film, even though I completely agree with some people's points of it not being as fun as, say, the Reeves films.
Man of Steel has one scene of joy, and that's the first time he flies, which is a really good scene, but it's like the only time he fucking smiles, and it's like, dude, you're Superman. Like, what's the matter? Like,
You're flying around in fucking orbit!
why are you so sad for? You're fucking Superman.
That theme, like that sense of joyless funeral marching thematic, just stinks up this whole. And you know what? They realize that too by the end of the film when they start playing Amazing Grace. That sense of dread and just depression just stinks up this entire film. There is not one moment, except I think one where fucking Wonder Woman, after she gets smacked in the face by Doomsday, she's smiling, and I was like, "Oh, finally, someone's having a good time."
You know what? There were two moments where you see someone experience joy, as you just said, when Wonder Woman, when she's engaging in the fight with Doomsday, and the other one when Batman and Superman start the fight, just like in the book, a lot of this is based off Dark Knight Returns. Batman uses some kind of like supersonic devices to kind of like momentarily trap Superman, and it cuts to Batman's face. She's got this big fucking smirk on it, just like in the book. But like those are the only two moments of joy when there's horrible violence happening on screen. I mean, like, again, I don't think we're gonna get into spoilers, but aside from there being no plot and just it's a lot of things are just stupid that make no sense. And my biggest source of contention was, like again. In Man of Steel, a lot of people had issue with the fact that Superman killed. I myself didn't have a issue necessarily with the fact that he had to kill General Zod. I just felt that its execution could have been a lot better. And again, I'm about to kind of spoil something here. So again, if you don't want to know, don't listen to it. But I think it's highly hypocritical where Batman hates Superman so much because in Man of Steel, Superman directly kills one person. He kills General Zod, and there's thousands of others who are collateral damage, but Superman himself is not directly responsible for that. Versus Batman v Superman, where Batman personally murders about 60 people.
Dude, the kill count was worse than 89 Batman.
This Batman shoots people, stabs people, and you're like, what the fuck is this Batman going on?
During the Batmobile chase where he's chasing the kryptonite, I'm loving all the collateral damage the Batmobile's causing, and then people start getting mowed down. It's like, wow, those people are going to have really high insurance bills by the time they get out of the hospital. It's like, oh, wait a minite, they're dead. Like, they're fucking dead.
There's the moment where Batman fires a fucking rocket launcher into a truck. Like, nope, no one's walking out of that one.
Yeah. We're going to be jumping around this fucking podcast like just as much as this movie jumps around plot points. But
oh my gosh.
I felt like we were watching a fucking, and this is going to be a bit of a reach for those just listening to this are comic book worlds, but early Dragon Ball Z censorship dub, where, Vegeta and Nappa are blowing through up a lot of buildings, but there's always someone around there saying, well, thank God it was a Sunday. Most of those buildings were empty. They do that 3 fucking times in this film because of the backlash of Man of Steel. They never bring into consideration how many people's lives were ruined by the result of Zod and Superman punching each other. But in this film, it's like it's so pandering that they landed in this island, which is uninhabited. Oh, thank God! And this building they went through, there's nobody in there. Oh, thank God!
They're destroying the Gotham docks. It's okay. They're mostly abandoned.
It's like, come on, people.
Batman literally says mostly, so some people may have died, but not a lot. Some people may have heard before the movie came out, there was an announcement that the Blu-ray version is going to be R-rated with 30 minutes of extra content. And the last thing this movie needs is extra screen time. Like, one thing that, like, I want to go into the dream sequences are all terrible. Worthless.
Good. You know what? Oh my God.
The one at the beginning.
The one at the beginning. You know what? Which I feel. All right, so the beginning of the film is a very abridged version of Batman's origin story, which, you know what, I appreciate. Because the Nolan films are still, I agree that I think it needed to be done. Because the Nolan films are still very fresh in our heads. We know Batman's origin story, And for the sake of Batman being in this film, I don't want to waste too much time on the origin stuff, so it's very abridged. So everything is going down at a very rapid pace. Batman falls down, or Bruce Wayne falls down the hole. He runs to the bats, and then they start carrying him up.
Oh I was sitting there with a bunch of people like TJ and my friend Jack, and my friend Jack turned to me and went, Is this a fan film? Like, what the fuck is this?
And there was a throwaway line at the end of that sequence that lets us know that it's a dream. And I was like, bullshit, that was a dream. That's how you want it to happen.
In my dreams, they carry me up sometimes. Like, okay.
Yeah, that wasn't a fucking dream. Zack Snyder, I'm not falling for that. Yeah, I'm not falling for that, Snyder. He's like, that wasn't a dream. That's how you actually depicted Batman becoming Batman.
And then he showed the Warner Brothers, and they were like, are you fucking insane, Schneider? All right, sucker punch was one thing. This makes no sense. My biggest, I've like in a lot of reviews and people like early buzz online, I heard a lot of things of the dream sequence in the desert was like a high point of the movie. That for me was when things started to really go downhill, because in that movie, like for one, that's the first time we see Batman pick up a gun and start shooting people. And in my head, I'm like, if this is a dream sequence, why is he shooting people?
I could at least think that, if this is supposed to be like a premonition of the future, like things have gotten so fucked up that Batman has dropped his no-kill code. Well, it turns out he didn't really have a kill code at all in this movie. It's just an extension of himself in this universe.
It's weird, but like in the comic books, Batman kind of famously, there's three things he doesn't do: kill, use guns, and drink alcohol. And they throw all of those out the window in this movie. Like, Bruce Wayne is kind of like trying to rival Tony Stark for how much alcohol he can consume.
He's got a flask in his hand, shooting someone with a gun at the same time. Like, wow, you just broke all 3 rules in one shot.
It's crazy because, like, visually, that Batman suit is fucking perfection.
If there's one thing the dream sequence did make me, giddy for, it was like the future for the DC animated universe, because we see the parademons and we see that giant Omega symbol on the screen.
Yeah,
it's like,
Darkseid,
it's like Darkseid, man. They're gonna bring Darkseid to this. I mean, granted, I think that's about as obvious as Thanos being in the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Yeah, but the thing is that they gradually got to Thanos. This one, they're like, I'm fucking Darkseid.
Darkseid's gonna be here.
Flash, it's just Cyborg, you're Aquaman.
Oh.
It's like, again, to go back to that, it's just like I wanna put my hands up and apologize to Marvel for every time I accused you of shoehorning in pointless cameos for upcoming films, and I called you guys unsubtle. I apologize. DC is the master of just screeching the movie to a halt for 10 minutes ago. Here's the Flash. Here's Aquaman. Here's Cyborg.
In the middle of the climax, like in the middle of the build-up for the climax, where we just get this random-ass shot of Wonder Woman, Diana, looking through the files that she was trying to get from Lex Luthor.
Her emails. Bruce Wayne sent her an email with all these like Justice League clips.
It's like, just in case, because in this, like one of the many like 1,000 subplots going in this movie, Wonder Woman, Diana, is looking for a photo of hers. Why? I don't know. They never really explained that, but it's I know the real reason. It's built up for her solo film, obviously. Yeah. And then apparently Lex Luthor has it for some fucking reason. Batman gets it before she does. Batman sends it to her along with like surveillance videos of other future Justice League member, and it's like, oh my God, it's nothing. It's nothing. It doesn't directly connect to anything in the film. It's just there in the middle of fucking nowhere. And we get the Flash, who is it's not the TV Flash from when I don't watch that show.
No, it's not. Yeah, it's not the TV show. It's Grant Gustin. In the movie, it's Ezra Miller. But I want to know why the Flash has the mustache of a 13-year-old.
Yeah. Maybe he's a young Flash. I don't know.
To go back to tie this in with the dream sequences, there's a really kind of Inception double-layered dream sequence where Batman basically falls asleep at the back computer while he's decrypting Lex Luthor's thing, which has all these Justice League things. And he falls asleep and he envisions his the desert sequence where like Superman he has like taken over the world and he has a bunch of armed terrorists with like Superman symbols in their arms and shit. He wakes up from that at his desk and then almost like he's bursting through the Speed Force. We get some weird kind of flash going, Bruce, you were right about him. You were right about everything. And then he wakes up from that.
Who's he talking, Snyder? Is he talking Snyder? Snyder? You talking Snyder?
you told us Bruce he'd fuck up the franchise. You were right. Look at the reviews.
Yeah, it was very Inception, which is really weird. Like, Nolan, come back. Come back, Nolan.
Please, Nolan. It's really good, like, he and his wife producing partner, Emma Thompson, they're listed as executive producers, like they were for Man of Steel. But I imagine that was just like one of them was going, if we pay you money, can we please put your name somewhere on this movie? You don't have to do anything. Just let's put your name on this, please.
The thing about the Justice League cameos is that it not only adds nothing, but it doesn't do anything else to like explain what's going on. I mean, obviously, if you're a DC fan, you know who these people are, who these people are gonna be. But it's like I can imagine our audience like, what the fuck is this shit? And they're wondering if whether or not it's going to mean anything in this film, and it doesn't. And we talked about the Flash earlier, but we also get that weirdly shot Aquaman cameo.
He spends like a minute looking at
just staring at the camera. It's like
before he very slowly shoves his trident in the camera.
And then we get the cyborg cameo.
The
and
cyborg.
That Silas Stone, his father, that's Joe Morton from Terminator 2. That's the guy who made Cyberdyne. That guy can't fucking stay away from cyborgs.
No, dude, you want to know the weirdest thing? In this movie, Bruce Wayne's parents are played by Maggie from The Walking Dead and the comedian from the Watchmen movie.
Oh, this is so fucked up.
What the fuck's going on? I'm so confused.
I don't know.
And just, they go into mothers. And I'm sure as people who are fans of Batman and Superman might know, coincidentally, that Bruce Wayne and Clark Kent's human mothers, both called Martha, never in a million years that I think that a $250 million movie would make that one of the most important plot points in the movie.
What a coinkydink.
One of my biggest pet peeves in movies is if drama could be avoided if people just talk.
Oh,
Spoiler
good lord.
Again, fuck it. At some point in the movie, unbeknownst to the audience, Lex Luthor figures out Clark Kent is Superman, which is whatever. Like, Lois Lane did it in the first one. I have no problem with somebody figuring it out, but like, we're not shown the scene of him doing it. She's like, "Oh yeah, I know you're Clark Kent, whatever," and they kidnap his mother. And he basically says, for no reason, you have 1 hour to kill Batman or we'll kill your mother. And if Superman, originally he's like, I'm not going to do it. I'm going to stop you. And he's like, if you don't do it, we're going to kill your mother. So he meets with Batman. And he goes like, I'm sorry, I don't want to fight. And Batman starts smacking him around. All Superman had to do is just be like, Lex Luthor has my mother. Please help me save her.
Yeah, which he doesn't do.
We have to go through a 10-minute, admittedly, pretty fun action sequence of them fighting each other before Batman is about to basically kill Superman with a kryptonite spear. Before Superman just goes, "Save Martha!" Which, why the fuck would he say "save Martha," not "save my mother"? He's playing the pronoun game. Isn't that fun? It's just like, it's so many dumb things that just don't make any sense.
All right, we're talking about casting for a second here, because I don't want to. It's going to be a Batman v Superman shitstorm throughout the entire podcast, because I got problems with this film, but there are positive things about this, and Ben Affleck looks phenomenal in the Batsuit. Like I was up there. It was like Ben Affleck as Batman. I was like, I wasn't outright against the idea, and I was like, I remember.
Come on, Johnny Affleck was the bomb in Phantoms, yo.
His role as Daredevil was grossly underappreciated. but I remember Daredevil, and I was like, you know what? All right, let me see him in the suit first, and then I'll make my judgment call. And I saw him in the suit. I was like, wow, that is a great looking Batman. It goes without saying to me anyway, the best parts of this movie are the Batman parts. Shockingly.
When he's not murdering people.
Like the fight sequence when he's rescuing Martha. Superman's mom, not his mom.
That'd be a weird time travel book. Like, if I save her, I won't exist. Oh, God, what do I do?
That is the Batman I've yearned to see for a long time. I mean, because this is a Batman that's like comic books Batman brought to life. Because
No, this is a Batman from the Arkham Asylum games.
yeah, but
Of how he
I would
moves.
love to see that. And a lot, this guy is not just about punching people in the face and shit. He's using gadgets. He's using batarangs. He's using his grappling hook to like drag crates and all that. It's not. That's the kind of Batman I love to see in live action, and that to me that was my best part of the movie. Batman saving Martha.
I would agree with you, but in that scene, he flat out shoots people and stabs someone. With a knife. If he throws like a batarang to like knock someone down, or if it kind of gets like impaled in their hand, that's one thing. But he flat out. Like, a criminal has a knife, he flat out takes a knife and just jabs it into him. Like, that's not Batman. Batman doesn't just stab people like that.
They are clearly emulating Dark Knight Returns Batman, where he's an aged Bruce Wayne. He's sick of it. He's getting too old for this shit.
But Batman, he doesn't. With the exception of one scene, they actually take me. There's a few moments where they flat out take directly from the book. One is in one of the kind of like the head terrorists. He's got a flamethrower on Martha, and he's going, I'll do it, man. I'll shoot her. And it's taken from a scene from Dark Knight Returns where this mugger has a kid with a gun up to the kid. He goes, "Oh, shoot!" And Batman goes, "I believe trust me, I'll do it. Yeah, I believe you, son." And then just like in the book, Batman he shoots the guy, but he shoots the tank of the flamethrower tank, and then the whole thing explodes. So I was like, I give whatever, that's fine. But again, like Dark Knight Returns, there's a moment towards the end of the book before he goes to fight Superman, just like in the movie, where he gets the sons of the Batman together to kind of help, kind of bring order back to Gotham because there's riots and everything. And he like there's a famous moment where like, he picks up a rifle, breaks it in half, and goes like, these are loud and clumsy. Tonight we are the law. Tonight I am the law. But
see, we're in Gotham. See,
sure, Muggsy, come here, Robinson. We're gonna go fight the Joker. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But so like, there's like, it's not even consistent. Again, Snyder has said this isn't straight up Dark Knight Returns, but like, it's not even consistent with that. Again, I'm surprised DC allowed this. I know DC just want to make movies so that they can bring them some of that Marvel money. So the time I was watching it, I was thinking like, in the Marvel movies, they do have Iron Man flat out shooting, like killing people. Captain America kills people, but it's like Captain America is a flat out soldier, so it makes sense why he would be trained to shoot first, ask questions later type of thing. Tony Stark,
he's a drunk.
He's a drunk in a fancy suit who like only goes and fights terrorists. So I know Zack Snyder's like, this is a new Batman. He's a hardened-edge Batman, but like anyone who knows anything about Batman is know that he never. That's like his one thing. He doesn't kill. And I know it sounds slightly hypocritical because I'm like, I'm fine if Superman starts snapping someone's neck. That's fine. But like, it just felt weird to me. And Zack Snyder's defense was like, he gave this interview. He was like, I don't understand why people are so upset about Batman and Superman killing people because in Star Wars they blew up 5 planets and it's like Zach, I'm not sure if you watched that, but that was the bad guys doing that in Star Wars.
Yeah, it wasn't Luke that hit the button.
It wasn't Han Solo blowing up order going fuck you.
Fuck you, Kylo. Blow them all.
Burn, fuck you.
And I know some people are quick to bring up Golden Age Batman, where he used a gun all the time and like killed thugs. It's like, yeah, but that version of Batman has long since been abandoned, since the Silver Age and above. And there's a reason why, because for so many decades we have gone with a Batman who strictly had a no-kill code, and it's just off-putting. Because I'm also of the idea that I love this a new vision of Batman. I don't have a problem with that. It's just, you gotta realize that when you got a Batman that doesn't hesitate to pull the trigger, it's weird, it's alienating. Henry Cavill returning as Superman, he doesn't really do much in this film, does he? Like, he doesn't...
He's not given anything to do aside from... I'm sure he's just directed to look like he's taking a shit every 6 seconds.
His role in this film is just to do Superman stuff, stand still, listen to someone else talk to him about some things, and then go do Superman stuff.
There's a few plot points about Superman where it's like, it just makes it... I know he was... In the comic books, he's always portrayed as, the big blue Boy Scout, but there's a moment where... and they show it in the trailer where... Ben Affleck and it was Batman and Superman meet at Alexis' party, and Clark Kent's like, Batman's a criminal, and Bruce Wayne's like, so Superman, what are you, dumb? And Clark Kent's like, no one thinks that. Leave me alone. I'm like, the fact that, like, multiple times, like, Superman can't even begin to understand the notion that some people might be afraid of him just seems incredibly stupid, you know? I mean, like, I will say, unlike Man of Steel, they did go out of their way to show him saving a lot of people. But then it contradicts itself because at the beginning there's a moment where it kind of opens after I thought a really nice sequence of they kind of replay the ending of Man of Steel, but it's Bruce Wayne going into Metropolis. I thought that was a really nice sequence. Then after that we transition to Lois Lane in the desert, and like it's just we see like people get like point blank executed.
Which apparently I've done some behind the scenes like sleuthing. That boy that got shot in the face with the camera, that's Jimmy Olsen. Like, that was that universe's Jimmy Olsen.
Fuck off. No, what?
Yeah, I've looked it up. Apparently, that was supposed to be Jimmy Olsen. He just got nonchalantly shot in the face. And
thanks, Snyder. We don't need Jimmy Olsen in these movies. It's too corny. Kids won't understand it. It's
you should have known when he was getting into, but he joined CIA.
Oh, God. And then it gets to the bit where, like, criminals have Lois Lane by the neck and he's about to shoot her, and then Superman appears, and it's just like you're expected. And again, I was sitting with my friend Jack, and as soon as the gun shot, his first response was like, so I guess Superman won't save the day this time then. Because like, it gets after that, it's revealed that Lois and Clark, they're living together, they're dating and stuff, so Clark obviously knew where Lois was going. And there's a moment later on when Lex Luthor pushes her off a building, and Superman at this point, he's gone AWOL, like no one knows where he is. But he manages to fly in and save her, like as she's falling off this very, very tall building. So it's like, is Superman, God knows where he is, after he's not imagining his dead father in the Arctic for some reason. Kevin Costner needs a paycheck apparently. Back into the movie.
One of the cameos I didn't expect at all was Kevin Costner coming back as a hallucination.
I was praying to God that when Lex Luthor breaks into the pseudo Fortress of Solitude spaceship thing, that they brought back Russell Crowe as Jor-El going, "Hello, Mr. Luthor, I know why you're here." Duck left like he was with Lois Lane in Man of Steel.
They will crawl, they will stumble, but you will lead them, my only son.
But soon you will kill them in the night to go Doomsday. So apparently, Doomsday is, if you mix a Kryptonian with human blood, you get a fucking ungodly abomination of sin. What was Lex Luthor's ultimate plan? Why did he hate Superman? Why did he want Batman dead?
I don't know anything about this Lex Luthor in this universe. You know, at the very least with comic books, hell, even the Justice League cartoon, I know that Lex Luthor is a crazy, egotistical businessman that is so good at what he does, but he just has a vitriolic hatred for Superman because he is an alien.
Well, no, a lot of it is that in the old Superman cartoon was led into Justice League, it was like Lex Luthor had a tiny dick and was jealous of Superman's big dick, because he was basically like he made Metropolis. Like Metropolis was his city. Like he employed like 2/3 of the population. Like he runs this town. Superman comes in out of nowhere and everyone loves him over Lex.
Yeah.
And that drives him crazy. But like, in the movie, they don't really I was expecting just Lex Luthor, you know, after Man of Steel was just like, fuck this guy. You know, like, I want him dead. I would have accepted that, but there's no scene where we get either his motivation or what his ultimate plan is.
Yeah, because they don't really follow up. I mean, they sort of do, but they don't really deeply follow up the collateral damage of Man of Steel in this movie. Like, you would think Lex Luthor would use that to his advantage and say, hey, this guy is fucking dangerous, and doesn't use that as a motivation to get the people behind his side. In this movie, he's just nuts.
Lex Luthor isn't publicly doing anything.
No, he's not.
All of his plans are like behind closed doors, which, again, I will say, put my hands up, I actually, as batshit crazy as it was, I genuinely like Jesse Eisenberg as Lex Luthor. I know it's completely wrong. It's not what Lex Luthor should ever be.
I can't disagree with you hard enough. I do not like this Lex Luthor.
I liked him because it was so. I was like, it was like if Mark Zuckerberg literally went insane and tried to take over the world. This is what it would be.
All right, in that context, maybe I can forgive it. But, dude, we already have a Joker in this universe. Suicide Squad made sure of that. We don't need a fucking another one, because that's what I'm getting. Why was he cast as Joker? That's what I want to know. Like, Joker with the business agenda.
I saw this tweet online today that really made me laugh. It's just like, in a world in Batman v Superman where they've established Batman has no qualms against killing, why the fuck is the Joker still alive? because it's clearly implied, as seen in the trailer, that Joker murdered one of the Robins.
Or I would even say one of the Robins became the Joker. Because there is a line in this movie where Bruce and Alfred are talking to each other, and he's like, "You've done this long enough to know what this world or this city does to heroes. They die, or they don't stay good for very long."
But that was just them stealing the fucking Dark Knight
Oh,
line.
yeah. It totally could have been just like, you live long enough to see yourself become the villain. But in this, I don't know, for some reason, in the context of this universe, I think this Joker is a Robin. And I'm thinking Jason Todd. Or, Zack Snyder could just drive that stake in further down the heart and make it Dick Grayson.
Oh, no. If that would happen, I fucking love Nightwing.
And then he shoots Jimmy Olsen in the face again. It's like, fuck! Stop, Snyder! He's already dead!
I can't, as much as DC let them get away with in this, I can't see anyone approving that. Of, a Robin becoming the Joker.
I don't know, because their goal for this universe seems to be...
It's to piss people off.
Piss people off by going against the status quo. But at the same time, the status quo is not necessarily a bad thing, But there's a multitude of reasons why people are against Superman snapping Zod's neck, or why Batman has no qualms killing people. Is because that's who they are. They have ideals. We look up to them as role models. They're superheroes. And now we're making them these joyless, lifeless symbols that we can't look up to. That's the thing about, in this film, I don't look up to any of these guys. Superman does Superman things because it's not because he wants to, but it feels like out of obligation to get people to stop being afraid of him.
What's the best thing was when he goes and has a conversation with his mother, Mark Kent, and they're talking about stuff, and it's like, I wonder what Dad would say if he was here. It's like, he'd tell you to fucking not save anyone, because that's all he did in Maz. So you say I should let these kids die? Maybe. Fuck them. That was.
What do they know?
Fuck them. Clark, they ever do anything for you? No. Fuck them. To repeat what someone else said again, there was another perfect tweet for this. So I just saw some guy was just like, "I'm amazed that I am seeing countless reviews that are telling me this movie featuring Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman is not suitable for children." I can understand taking Batman solo into darker territories, but it's fucking Superman. Like, you can count on 1, 2 hands maybe the amount of Superman stories that are flat out not for kids. Like, maybe Death of Superman is pretty violent because the story justifies it, but there's no reason why. I mean, again, I don't want to compare too much to Marvel, but something like Captain America's Winter Soldier is a much more kind of darker in its tone and kind of some of the themes and events that happen in it. But children, aside from some of the more violent set pieces, that won't scare children. This movie, I'm scared of Superman. It's fucking scary.
The guy is supposed to be the ideal, the most human of us all, is instilling fear just because of his actions. And
dude, I love that fucking scene with the guy who lost his legs that Bruce Wayne saved. He climbs on the Superman statue and writes "false god" in spray paint, and they charge him as a terrorist. I'm like, no, I don't see the connection. Vandalism, sure, but how is he a terrorist putting false god? I feel that they gloss over the backlash that Superman really would have had. I mean, they have 2 people. They have Lex Luthor, Batman, and the Senator played by Elastigirl, which took me completely out of the movie. Holy shit, it's Elastigirl. Those 3 are very kind of mistrusting of Superman, but everyone else, aside from when they have when he walks into the courthouse, which is so fucking strange. Just Superman, hello, I'm Superman. I'm here for my court.
How's it going, everybody?
Hello.
Hey, Mercy.
Man of Steel, nice to meet you. Man of Steel, nice to meet you. It just totally just so many missteps, and I wanted to like this because I'm such a big fan of Batman and to a lesser extent Superman. I love these characters.
Why wasn't there a Mercy Graves versus Batman scene in this movie? Can I ask? Because Lex Luthor's assistant in the comic books and in TV shows is Mercy Graves, his assistant.
Yeah.
But she's like secretly the best fucking kung fu chick in the entire fucking universe because
I think they did. You know what? She was kind of like when the Batman animated series invented Harley Quinn. Mercy was invented by the Superman animated series, and she was really just at that point she was just kind of Lex's chauffeur slash bodyguard, but she wasn't really like an expert fighter. There's a great moment though in the much superior World's Finest when Batman the animated Batman and Superman first met, where they have this kind of extended sequence of Harley Quinn and Mercy fighting each other, while Lex Luthor and Joker are sitting at a table talking business.
yeah.
which is really good. What's the point of bringing in a named character like that? Giving her 4 lines of dialogue and then blowing her up.
Okay, you've done your part.
And like I love the imagery where like fucking the whole house is exploding. It goes to slow mo. There's flames everywhere, and Superman just has tears falling down his cheeks.
It's very similar. It's like their homage to like the old time like Indian looking at the garbage heap and he sheds a tear. It's just Superman. It was like nuclear flames just surround. You know.
Oh, I hate it when people try and blow me up. It is about question. It is the room of superhero movies. It gets everything wrong.
Well, what about God help me, I can't never pronounce her last name. Is it Gal Gadot?
I think so. I thought, you know what? She's not given much to do.
What did you think of her as Wonder Woman?
I will say though, out of context from the movie, the score for this was done by Hans Zimmer and I forget like XS. I don't know some weird rapper name. I think they did the music. Wonder Woman's theme, out of context from the movie, is just pretty fucking sweet, like guitar violin track.
Is it the track that started playing when she rescued Batman from Doomsday?
Yes, isn't that so out of place? Is that so out of place? There's this moment where like it's been shown in the trailers where like Superman's in the Batwing and like Doomsday's about to like sit and fight. Which quick side note. The trailer I find is very misleading because typically in the comic books, Doomsday is like slightly bigger than Superman.
Yeah.
In the movie, he's like a fucking giant.
Yeah, he's like 3 times as tall.
I was not expecting that at all, but like there's a moment where he's about to use his laser vision, which again Doomsday in the books never had that, but whatever. He tries to use his laser vision to shoot Batman. Wonder Woman jumps in front of a shield, and like this crazy like bomb, like this crazy like 80s rock and roll song starts playing. I legitimately laughed out loud. It would have been less weird if they had used instead the 70s Wonder Woman theme as he jumped in.
I'll get you out of here, Batman. That just spins in place.
But she was great. Like again, in terms of she was the most interesting in terms of the fights because I'm glad they did it because. Again, spoiler alert, but during the Doomsday fight, Batman does fuck all except try to not die.
Yeah. Which, granted, that's the only thing he can do at this point.
But it's weird because like if they would have had him like jumping around and punching Doomsday out, I'd have been like, fuck you, that's so dumb. But then it's just like, man, he really just runs for his life. It's really because my favorite scene in any of the trailers, because to me it was like the most pure Batman section ever put on live screen is the moment where like he's against the wall and like the laser comes at him and he like uses his grappling hook to fly away.
Yeah.
I was like, that's so fucking Batman. But you assume that's Superman doing that, not Doomsday. And after he goes off screen, he'll literally fly into a wall and fall down.
Oh, so now we're getting realistic, huh? The guy with the bat suit.
I know. It's just. It's what can you say about this? But I am looking forward to the Wonder Woman movie because she was good, and again that moment where Doomsday kind of smacks her, and she just smiles like, "Okay, motherfucker, this is on now."
Yeah,
like, that was a really good. That sold her character so well.
The second best thing about this movie is Wonder Woman. Well, I would say equally on par with the Batman stuff, like the soul Batman stuff.
Wonder Woman to me is first because unlike with Batman, I'm like Batman shouldn't kill, he shouldn't shoot, he shouldn't drink. Yeah. There was nothing about Wonder Woman. I mean, we even see the fucking lasso.
Yeah.
We see the golden light up lasso, and it doesn't. I'd love if she's like, "Who are you? I'm Doomsday."
Now tell the truth, you dick.
I'm mad because I haven't got a penis, so I lash out at that. Yeah. They kind of pull a Fantastic Four thing. Doomsday just flat out like he's basically a Ken doll, just flat crotch area, and that's why he's mad.
Well, they gotta sell those toys.
What did you think of the end?
It's pointless. You know, I don't know what they were intending on doing by emulating the death of Superman, because we know it's not going to lead into anything. We know what's going to happen. They even tease it at the very fucking end of the movie that he's not dead. Of course he's not dead.
They took that from Dark Knight Returns.
But they reversed the roles.
Yeah, well, but Batman isn't there. But there's a moment where in Dark Knight Returns, Batman fakes his death and he has a funeral, and Superman is there along with Carrie Kelly. Yeah, the new Robin, and like Superman is kind of speaking to her, but Superman starts to walk away and he hears a heartbeat. So he's like, oh, okay, he's not dead, and he gives this very kind of Kurt Swan-esque wink at Robin, and it walks off like he knows Batman's alive. In this one, it's Lois Lane at the grave, and it's like she picked up a piece of dirt for some reason, and she's dropping it on the grave, and as she's walking up, it's kind of subtle, but in the sound mix you can hear a heartbeat. I was like, Dark Knight Returns, fair enough, that's cool, and then it goes into like. You know what? They've kind of written themselves into a corner because they have two funerals for Clark Kent and Superman, because they say Clark Kent just, he was a reporter who just happened to die during the Doomsday fight. But I'm like, they have two funerals, and part of me was like, what's in the coffin at the Superman funeral? Because we know for a fact Clark Kent's buried in Kansas.
Yeah.
So what's in the coffin for the Superman funeral? And also,
It's Zod.
Yeah, they stuffed Doomsday into the fucking Superman coffin. The fact that they kill off Clark Kent in the world is like. How are they gonna like Superman can come back, that's fine. How do you resurrect Clark Kent in the Justice League movie? Like, that doesn't make any sense.
I don't know. I don't. I didn't even fucking think about that.
I'd love it if like that's like Warner Brothers going this next time. So Snack, this great ending, but how are we gonna bring back Clark Kent? I don't know.
Using death for drama in a superhero film only works, I guess, on like supporting casts or superheroes or villains that are not on the caliber of Superman. That's why it doesn't work for me. Two, one, because I know we got a Justice League film coming up, so it's kind of ruined in that sense, in a meta sense like that. Two, it's fucking Superman. There is no way in hell you're going to kill off Superman before a Justice League film. And thirdly, in the same fucking film, Superman gets caught in a nuclear blast, point blank. And and another homage to The Dark Knight Returns, it drains him for a bit, and he gets rejuvenated by the sun's rays. And I was like, okay, that's a nice little callback. I like that.
No, it wasn't a nice callback. I wanted him to suck the life out of a sunflower, like in the book. That made no fucking sense to me.
This movie just keeps getting worse and worse.
Like, he looks like the fucking Michael Jackson Thriller zombie in space.
But you've told me a point-blank nuclear blast won't kill Superman. What the fuck is a pike through the body gonna do? Nothing.
I think what they were going for is because Superman, he destroys Doomsday with the kryptonite spear. I think it was meant to be because he's so close to the kryptonite that affects him. But then I know, like, if then I would just be like, Wonder Woman, take the spear. I'm gonna stand over there so I can use my laser eyes to distract him, and we'll go at this logically.
Oh, just get him in a fucking full Nelson.
Batman, you just stay over there, you fucking coward. Don't do anything.
Your roll's over, you useless son of a bitch.
How did you get top billing, you fucking movie?
Go do your Zorro shit over there.
Hey, Bruce, I saved my Martha. Fuck you. The biggest moment of like, why is this in a Superman movie? Is the moment where Lex Luthor shows him pornos of his mother tied up,
which didn't look like that.
Because it's weird because like they have a scene with her where they speak, and then it kept cutting to her like working in a bar, and for a moment I was like, who the fuck's this woman? Like, who's she? Like, oh, it's fucking Mark Kent. Yeah. She looks so different. But I'm like, I don't ever want to see a Superman movie where it looks like some kind of weird fucking torture porn-esque scene with like her like very close up of her with like gags in her mouth with like the word witch on her forehead. Like I don't want this sick shit in a Superman movie. It's fucking Superman. What are you doing?
Again, from beginning to end, with one or two exceptions, this movie is a goddamn funeral march in tone, in writing, just the look of it. There's the whole Metropolis incident from Man of Steel that kind of sets the bar. There's the Wayne Manor, for some fucking reason, is burnt down in this continuity.
Yeah.
And that we got scenes where Bruce is inside the burnt down Wayne Manor to reflect.
We've seen where he's like sleeping with random women.
Yeah. There's where he visits the gravesite. Holy shit! I mean, this movie's darker than
this movie. It's like I'm trying to like looking back. Its entire color palette is entirely bleak, and we know like the Dark Knight, the Nolan trilogy is dark, but they have scenes in light. They have some scenes. Not everything is just like is depressing. There's some light moments in those movies. Aside from like one or two jokes here and there, this is just a bleak, joyless adventure.
People may contest, does it really need to have joy? It's fucking Superman. Of course it does.
If this movie was just called The Batman, its tone would make more sense. But again, it's fucking Superman. The whole like these are two characters. Everyone said it before. These are two characters who really don't belong on the screen together because they're so vastly different in every way that they don't really mix at all. The only way you get them to work is you have to show Superman in light. You can't have a mopey Superman. I mean, this isn't a. You would have thought Warner Brothers would have learned with Superman Returns that a depressed Superman questioning his role in life does not a good Superman make.
No, I'd like a confident Superman who doesn't care about that sort of shit. It was the reason why I can go back to. You ever read All-Star Superman?
I've seen the animated movie. I've read some of it, but that is a really good. Yeah.
Read that book because that is like that is like the Superman for me. Like he doesn't give a fuck about his role in this world. He just does what he does because that's who he is. He is Superman. He will rescue a cat from a tree. He will
help a girl who's about to commit suicide.
The dark, bleak setting, it works well for Batman because that's the kind of character he is. That's the kind of world he's lived in. That's how that's the reason why he became who he is, because one of the great lines from The Dark Knight Returns is like, my parents taught me one thing: the world only makes sense when you force it to. Because that perfectly exemplifies the kind of character that Bruce Wayne is, the kind of character that Bruce Wayne grew up to be. Complete opposite of what Clark Kent or Kal-El grew up. And that's what makes them light and dark, day and night. But in this film, it's like night and midnight in tone.
I mean, that's one of the biggest things people had against Man of Steel was that Clark Kent is supposed to. The story is like if Clark Kent would have landed anywhere else, if Kal-El would have landed anywhere else in America, like anywhere in the world, he would not have become Superman. It's supposed to be the ideals that Martha and Jonathan Kent raise him with, turns him into Superman. That doesn't work when you have Parker going, I don't know if you should save anyone.
Fuck those kids.
Like, just keep hiding for your life. And it's like, that's not a very Superman thing to do, Versus Batman, who's just like, I'm going to kill fucking everyone except the Joker. I'm going to let him live.
You ever dance to the Temple of the Pale Moonlight?
All this needed was a scene where Superman just goes, you want to get nuts? Let's get nuts.
Let's get nuts. He snaps his neck, too.
He snaps his own neck.
Superman, you can't keep doing that.
I want to round up by just telling a little story about our friend TJ.
The poor boy.
I saw it with a bunch of friends. I was sitting next to TJ. I love watching movies with TJ because he's so that he wears his heart on his sleeve. I fucking love that guy. And at the beginning of the movie, during the opening scene where not during the Batman the flying with the bat scene, but during the at end of Man of Steel where it's Bruce Wayne's perspective, he was invested in that scene. Like you could tell he was fully engrossed, and he was loving it. And then about an hour into it, he just got to look angrier and angrier. This is a guy who, unironically, loves not only Amazing Spider-Man 2, he loves the Sonic fan film. He loves pretty much most movies that people say are terrible. He loves with all his heart. He flat out hated this movie. Versus before the movie started, they showed the latest trailer for Civil War.
Yeah.
And when Spider-Man appeared on screen, TJ stood up and went, "Yeah!"
I believe every single second of that.
Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice is terrible. TJ is amazing, and I love him. That's what I took away. This movie just reinforced my love of TJ.
Unfortunately, with Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice, for me, it does nothing to alleviate my feelings towards the film that I haven't already felt from the teasers and the trailers. Again, the trailers told me every fucking plot point of this film. Well, every major plot point, not counting the 7,000 other subplots that happen in this film that go absolutely fucking nowhere or just completely forgotten, for the record. And God, that forced Justice League cameo. It's just,
oh my god!
But
Dude, it's not even a cameo. A cameo dictates it to be short. That's like a 10-minute sequence just shoving it down our
let's all go to the lobby.
Let's all go see sequels. Let's all go see sequels.
The only thing I think that I can look for as a result of this film, because I enjoyed her performance, was the Wonder Woman film, which I got a feeling may draws the ire, well, they're probably gonna do it anyway, of Marvel fans, because it's like, oh, fucking Wonder Woman in the World War I setting, someone's seen Captain America: First Avenger. It's like, yeah, but that was World War II. This is World War I.
Yeah, but also Wonder Woman came first, so shut up. In terms of continuity.
Very true. I'm talking strictly cinematic universe. You know what I mean?
Yeah, totally. It's weird how the film that is most likely going to do critically the best is the one that's not even referenced here. It's that Suicide Squad, which comes out, I think, in August. There's no like slight reference. Like you would have thought like some kind of Joker, you know, aside from we see like the Robin costume, and if for some reason in the building where Batman and Superman are fighting, there are these two pillars, and one of them someone spray painted the word Joe, and on the next one someone spray painted Kerr.
What? What?
Good job, production designer. Some good shit that is.
There's your cameo.
And apparently people have said there's a reference to the Riddler, because again, on one of those walls, there was a question mark graffitied on a wall. Oh, Riddler, only Riddler can do that shit. He's trademark question marks in Gotham City.
I'm just sad to say that a movie where Batman and Superman fight each other is not as cracked up as I wanted it to be, and unfortunately, I kind of went in knowing that, because I just wasn't as excited for this as, say, Avengers, or hell, even Age of Ultron, which, you know, that's a different topic for another day, but there was more enthusiasm for that than, say, Batman versus Superman. I mean, this is something that I've wanted to see since the very concept of it on film, anyway, since the 90s, I think. Because who wouldn't want to see that? Who wouldn't want to see a movie about that? Obviously, they're not going to be enemies for the entire film, because they're Batman, Superman. They're going to be buddy at some point or another. But I just want to.
They're going to be super friends.
Yeah, they're going to be super friends. What we have here is, again, just a soulless 2.5-hour film that takes too long to get to the parts we really want to see, which only lasts about 10 minutes for the record.
And make no sense.
It could have been all avoided just by talking.
Lex has my mother. Job done. Job done.
No, 4 words.
No, that's 4 words.
4 words. Martha. That's 3 words.
No. There's Lex has my mother, Martha. 5 words. And Batman would go, how do you know that name?
I'm really not looking forward to the Justice League film. That's what it does to me. I'm not looking forward to the Justice League film because I don't know what the hell they're gonna do. I want to see Darkseid in live action film, but how are we getting to that point? And I don't mean that in a good sense. How the fuck are we getting to that point from this point?
Apparently, though, some of these things were brought up, and like Snyder was like, I'm still working on Justice League. It's gonna be great. And apparently Warner Brothers were like, don't worry, it's gonna be brighter. We swear to God, Justice League will be a brighter movie than Batman v Superman. Because ultimately, like, to be candid, ultimately, if this movie makes money, which it will,
Of course.
this movie is gonna make at least $1 billion. As long as it makes money, the studio won't care. It's the same reason why Michael Bay keeps being allowed to make Transformers movies, because they bring in money. So unless something like Justice League tanks, I don't see, as much as the fans may want it, I don't think Warner Brothers will be that affected by the negative critical response, although I'm sure it's getting far worse reviews than they were ever expecting. It pains me, because I love Batman. He's my favorite superhero. It pains me that I have to say this movie's terrible. And I think everyone here, everyone who dislikes this movie, everyone collectively, we need to apologize to Joe Schumacher. because Batman Forever, yes, Ben Affleck looks more like Batman, but Val Kilmer didn't kill no one or shoot any people or get drunk in that movie, and he wore the gray and blue suit. So
no, he killed Two-Face.
No, he didn't. He threw some coins in the air, and Two-Face made the choice to grab them and fall down. Joe Schumacher, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry for everything I've ever said.
I'm not going to go that far. Because, again, I do legitimately enjoy the solo Batman action scenes in this movie.
When he's not murdering
anybody, you know what I mean? Because, again, that fight where he's rescuing Martha, Jesus, I want a... okay, let me rephrase something I said earlier, because I said the one thing I was looking forward to after this was a Wonder Woman film. I want to see a solo Batfleck.
Because he's directing it. That's what makes me happy. He's directing it.
Ben Affleck may be on and off with like superhero roles, but he's a phenomenal director. And I would love to see a Batman film directed by Ben Affleck with him in the suit.
And he's a Batman fan, which I don't care what Snyder says. He obviously doesn't. He either doesn't care or he doesn't respect. I mean, I'm sure Ben Affleck has to do what Snyder says. So if Snyder says we're going to shoot people, Ben Affleck can't be like, no. But I'm praying that apparently it's being called The Batman, we won't have a Batman who murders everyone he comes into contact with. Call me a naive fanboy, but I don't like my Batman who murders people left and right.
He's gonna snap the Joker's neck at the end of the day. You know what he is.
That makes sense to me. That makes sense. That's fine. You can't run over 4 people in the Batmobile, but let the Joker live. You know.
Good point.
He's murdering people who are literally just he's literally murdering delivery boys. They're just transporting something to somebody. Yes, they're technically doing it illegally, but they're not like murdering people. They're just driving the truck to Lex Luthor. I was like, nope. No one delivers shit on my watch.
You didn't get a clearance pass for that. Die.
You ain't legalized FedEx delivery man.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that wraps it up for our Batman v Superman review podcast. It was about an hour long of us saying nothing but negative things about the fucking film. Because
we liked Wonder Woman. We liked parts of Batman. Again, when he wasn't murdering people. It's not all terrible. It's just unfortunately the few small rays of, ironically, the few small rays of non-Superman light cannot save this film from just its own internal darkness.
No. If this was supposed to be the vehicle to a Justice League film, I went out. Like, I'll take Uber. I'll take Uber, and I'll see you guys on the other side. But I do not want to be in this Batmobile because it kills people. I mean, if you're gonna go see the film anyway. Obviously, we're not gonna stop you. We hope you didn't listen to this before watching the film, because
I say go. This is one of the greatest comedies of all time. I was laughing throughout the movie. Like, I'm sure I wasn't meant to be laughing, but I was consistently laughing at just how wrong everything was. I love this movie so much.
Go see the movie. Tell us what you think in the comments of whether or not we're right or wrong. If we're wrong, or blocking it. But I'm kidding. But go see the film now at your own risk. Go, pay $4.50 for like matinee. Don't go spend full price on this, or just mooch off your fucking parents' wallet and with this shit.
Before they're gunned down by someone in the mean streets of Gotham City.
Either way, that wraps it up for this podcast, ladies and gentlemen. Gareth, again, thanks again for joining me. It was a lovely.
Thanks for having me.
Again, you can find the Computer Room on YouTube. There's a link to the channel in the description below. You can find him there. Watch. What do you just give people a quick 10-second synopsis of what you do over there.
We do terrible LPs. We are currently doing Sonic Colors and Transformers Devastation, and we also just released a commentary track for The Amazing Spider-Man 2. If you want to hear me and TJ argue incessantly over that movie.
Oh, okay.
He loves it. I don't. We're the original odd couple.
If you only recorded that after Batman v Superman, it'd probably be just an hour and a half of a shit freaking contest on why this is better.
90 minutes into that movie, I was like, dude, we're doing a commentary to this movie when it comes out.
Looking forward to it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that wraps it up for this video. Thanks again for listening in. Getting ready for the Metal Gear Solid 5 video. Look forward to that sometime next week. It's almost done. In the meantime, thank you all for listening. Have yourselves a fantastic night, and take care.